Hello students, today we are on to second video of hybridization. In today's session we will be discussing about the remaining types of hybridization. Okay, so first I am considering sp2 hybridization. Now in the last video children we have already discussed that in sp2 hybridization 1s and 2p orbitals intermix. So I am directly starting with the example of it, right? Say suppose we are talking about BF3, boron trifluoride. So we will write boron, central atom, configuration 2s2, 2p1. So in this there is one unpaired electron. Okay, but there are three surrounding elements, means three unpaired electrons are required. So we consider in this first excited state configuration. So its first excited state configuration is 2s1, 2px1, 2py1. That means one of this s electron is shifted to p. So now there are three unpaired electrons. So all these electrons on all these orbitals which are there in the valence shell of boron undergo hybridization. They undergo sp2 hybridization and result in the formation of 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals, 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals, and each of them now is having one electron. So there are 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals and all of them have one electron. And how should 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals be arranged? That we have already discussed, that they should be arranged as far as possible, and the arrangement is trigonal planar. Okay, so each one is sp2 hybrid orbital here, each one is having one electron. Now these will overlap with fluorine. That is the if I write fluorine configuration, it is 2s2, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz1. This is fluorine valence shell configuration, right? So there is one unpaired electron. So that unpaired electron 2pz will overlap with each of the sp2 hybrid orbital of boron atom. So this is central one is for boron. There are 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals and these 3 are p orbital of fluorine. So the shape is trigonal planar. Bond angle is 120 degree. Okay, bond angle is 120 degree, and we say there are 3 sigma bonds and of the type sp2p sigma bonds. Okay, sp2p sigma bonds. Clear? Now let us take one more example of sp2 hybridization. Say I am talking about say ethene, C2H4. Right? So you basically have an idea of carbon double bond. This is ethene, right? So we know there is a double bond, and actually in hydrocarbons we also calculate the hybridization on the basis of the sigma bonds. Okay, if there are 4 sigma bonds in any hydrocarbon, then the hybridization is sp3. If there are 3 sigma bonds, it is sp2. If there are 2 sigma bonds, then it is sp. You can write this, it's quite important for finding the hybridization in hydrocarbons, right? You can check on each carbon now, 1 sigma, 2 sigma, 3 sigma. So there are 2 bonds, means 1 is pi. So on this carbon there are 3 sigmas, that means sp2 hybridization. So how are we going to represent this? We will again write carbon configuration, which is 2s2, 2px, 2px2, that is 2px1, 2py1. So there are 2 unpaired electrons like this, right? So we need 4 because this is tetravalent. Carbon being tetravalent, we need to consider first excited state. So in first excited state, its configuration is 2s1, 2px1, 2py1 and 2pz1, right? But the hybridization is sp2. That means S and two p orbitals only intermix. One of them will be left over. Whichever is left over, that is a pure orbital. These three which have undergone mixing, they are undergoing sp2 hybridization, and it will result in three sp2 hybrid orbitals, each having one electron, and this is a pure orbital. So each carbon is having three sp2 hybrid orbitals and one pure orbital. Now how are these going to arrange? I'll just draw them slightly tilted manner because we have to show the pi bond also. One sp2 orbital, second sp2, and third sp2. Remember one thing, these three sp2 orbitals will be arranged in trigonal planar manner only. The bond angle will be 120 degree only. Okay, and there is one pure orbital present on this. This is in one plane, and above this plane, like this, above this plane, and of course below this plane also, means perpendicular to this, there will be one pure orbital. Since it's a 2D figure I am drawing the pure orbital like this. I am drawing for pure orbital. That means these are in one plane and the pure orbital is perpendicular to this. Likewise, you have one more carbon atom which is also having sp2 hybridization. Three sp2 orbitals will be there on this also. So one pure orbital will be present perpendicular to three sp2 orbitals of the neighboring carbon. This is one carbon, this is another carbon, right? So this is sp2 of one carbon, this is sp2 of another carbon. Between them there is one sigma bond, right? And 1s orbital of hydrogen, 1s orbital, here also 1s, here also 1s. So there are 4 sigma bonds around it. So total 5 sigma bonds are there. 4 sigma bonds are of the type sp2s and 1 sigma bond is of the type sp2sp2. And what about these pure orbitals which are perpendicular to it? They will overlap laterally and form pi bond. Each pi bond will have one electron cloud above the plane and below the plane. Okay, one electron cloud above the plane, another electron cloud below. That doesn't mean 2 bonds are there. There is one pi bond only present between the two. Is it clear? Right? So we can say on carbon atom, each carbon atom trigonal planar 120 degree, and there is a pi bond between the two. Clear? Now we will talk about sp hybridization. Okay, sp hybridization means 1s and 1p are only mixing. So 50% S character, 50% P, all that we have discussed in the previous video. Let us take simple example of BeCl2 or BeF2, BeH2, all will be same. We'll write beryllium central atoms, beryllium's configuration, that is 2s2. So there are no unpaired electrons in this. Definitely we need to consider first excited state. So in first excited state, one of the s electron will be excited to p. So it will now have 2s1, 2px1. Okay, these are all degenerate orbital. That is just for convenience we write x first and then y and z. So any one of the p orbital that is undergoing mixing. In some books you will find that the internuclear one is intermixing. Okay, so s and p, now they will undergo hybridization. So both these will intermix and will result in the formation of 2 sp hybrid orbitals, each having one electron. And how should 2 sp orbitals be arranged? 2 sp orbitals are always arranged in a linear manner, and the angle is 180 degree, right? And fluorine, as we discussed earlier also, the p orbital is having one unpaired, so it will overlap here axially and it will result in the formation of a sigma bond, right? This is a sigma bond. This is sp orbital of boron, this is sp orbital of boron. There is beryllium, not boron, beryllium. This is sp hybrid orbital of beryllium, sp orbital of hybrid orbital of beryllium. So 2 sps are formed. So total 2 sigma bonds. There are 2 sigma bonds of the type sp and p. This is the p orbital of fluorine, right? Did you follow here? Now we'll consider another example, acetylene. This is acetylene, or it can be also called as ethyne. IUPAC name is ethyne, right? So again the same thing, carbon ground state configuration, 2 unpaired, so we need 4. We will consider first excited. Okay, so first excited state means this will be the configuration, and S and P, they will undergo hybridization forming 2 sp hybrid orbitals and 2 remain pure orbitals. 2 are pure orbital. That 2 pure orbitals will form pi bond. That means there will be 2 pi bonds formed by the carbon atom in this. Between 2 carbon atom there will be 2 pi bonds. Now this is one carbon atom. There are 2 sp orbitals. This is one sp, this is another sp. So this is one carbon. There are 2 sps arranged in a linear manner. They are arranged in a linear manner. This is another carbon. sp orbital, they are arranged in a linear manner. Each carbon which is having 2 sp orbitals are having perpendicular to it pure orbital. So this is say sp orbital. Okay, so the pure orbitals, one will be perpendicular like this and the another one will be like this. So the 2 pure orbitals will be perpendicular to these 2 sp orbitals. So they will overlap laterally. So if this is y, the y will overlap with y only. If it is z, then z will overlap with z only. Okay, so there are 2 pi bonds between 2 carbon atoms. So what it is exactly, if you see, there is one sigma bond here, sp. This is pi bond. This is pi bond. There will be 1s orbital here of hydrogen, 1s orbital of hydrogen. So if we see, of course, we know the arrangement is linear. On each carbon atom, arrangement is linear. Bond angle is 180 degree. And total there are 3 sigma bonds. One sigma is of the type sp, that is between 2 carbon atoms. And 2 sigmas are of the type sps. So between sp and s. This will be for ethyne. Clear? So next we will consider the another type of hybridization now. Now we'll take example of sp3d hybridization, PCl5. This is phosphorus central element. This is the valence shell configuration. There are 3 unpaired but 5 surrounding. That means we need 5 unpaired. So here there are 3 unpaired. So one of the S will be shifted to D. So now there are 5 unpaired. All these will intermix. 3s, all 3 p's and D will intermix. So 5 are intermixing. You will get 5 sp3d hybrid orbital. And each hybrid orbital has the same shape. One big lobe and one small lobe. And 5 hybrid orbitals will be arranged in this manner. These 3 are in the same plane, trigonal, bipyramidal, one above the plane, one below the plane. Now these are all hybrid orbitals, sp3d hybrid orbitals. These will now overlap with the surrounding element, that is chlorine. 3p, one unpaired electron is there. So that p orbital will overlap with these hybrid orbitals and there will be 5 sigma bonds. There are 5 sigma bonds of the type sp3dp. Okay, and in between this trigonal planar there will be 3 angles. There will be 3 120 degree angles and there will be 2 90 degree angles. That is above and below the plane, and the geometry for this is trigonal bipyramidal. Okay. Now quickly let's have a look at the next type of hybridization, sp3d2. SF6. Sulfur is a central element. And this is the configuration of the valence shell configuration. 2 unpaired electrons in this, but there are 6 unpaired required because 6 surrounding elements. So we need to consider second excited state. That means this as well as this one electron will be shifted to D. So now there are 6 unpaired. All 6 will undergo hybridization now, mixing, and will result in the formation of sp3d2 hybrid orbital. 6 hybrid orbitals are formed. And what is the orientation for 6 hybrid orbitals? Octahedral arrangement. What is this arrangement called, children? It is octahedral arrangement, which is also called as square bipyramidal. Okay, and all angles are 90 degree in this. So this is how it is. These are all hybrid orbitals. These are all perpendicular to each other, and above and below the plane also 90 degree. And these all will now be overlapping with the p orbital of fluorine. So p orbital of fluorine will be overlapping here with all these hybrid orbitals, and this will be the shape of SF6. Clear? So you must be wondering, till now we are discussing the hybridization. If any molecule is given, how do you judge what will be the hybridization present in the molecule? Now towards the end of the video, so please watch till the end, I'll give you a trick how you calculate the hybridization just by looking at the molecule within few seconds. Yeah, sp3d3 hybridization. We are taking example of iodine heptafluoride. I am writing it previously only to finish little faster, otherwise the video becomes very lengthy. Iodine, we will write the central atoms configuration, the valence shell configuration, and we have only one unpaired electron. We need 7 unpaired for surrounding elements, 7 bonds to be formed. So we'll consider 1, 2, 3, third excited state. So this paired, and this paired all will be shifted to 3d orbitals. There are 5d orbitals. Out of that, 3 of them will get one electron each. So now they will all undergo mixing. sp3 and d3 will undergo mixing. You will have 7 sp3 d3 hybrid orbitals. And how should 7 sp3 d3 hybrid orbitals be arranged? They are arranged in pentagonal bipyramidal manner. Pentagon, there are 5. Pentagonal bipyramidal manner they are arranged, right? So then 5 of them are in the pentagon, 1 above the plane and 1 below the plane. So 5 of them here will be having 72 degree angle, and to 1 above and 1 below will be having 90 degree angle. Now these are all sp3d3 hybrid orbitals. They will be now overlapping with the p orbital of fluorine. P orbital, let me complete with black pen only now, that is over, right? These are all the p orbitals of fluorine. So how many sigma bonds, children, it is having? It is having 7 sigma bonds. All of the same category, sp3 d3 with p. This of the central atom, p of the surrounding. Okay, till here it is clear to you all. Now we will see, suppose any molecule is given to you. How do you judge what will be the hybridization? Okay, for that shortcut I'll discuss. See, in VSEPR theory, I gave you one formula to calculate the electron pairs. I hope you remember that formula. Okay, what was that formula? I'll discuss it once again. The formula was, you calculate electron pairs by this formula, number of valence electrons on central atom plus number of surrounding atoms. If it is monovalent, the surrounding atom, if it is monovalent, okay, then number of surrounding atoms divided by 2. Okay, now surrounding, if suppose any charge species there, you have to add the charge. Means if the species having plus charge, like hydronium, you will write minus, equal to the charge. If it is minus, plus. We will take example, then further it will be clear. To have this further clarity, you can also watch my video on VSEPR theory, which I have already shared. Okay, so what is the formula, children? Electron pairs you are calculating, number of valence electron in the central atom plus, if the surrounding atom is monovalent, the number of surrounding plus minus charge divided by 2. Just learn the formula at present, then I will tell you how to apply it. Electron pair, if the surrounding atom is divalent, like oxygen or sulfur, Okay, most of the cases our purpose is solved with this. So number of electrons on the valence electrons on the central atom divided by 2, and plus minus charge if it is there, this whole will be plus minus charge, whatever is the charge value we will write, and the opposite sign. If the species minus, plus, if it is plus, it is minus. Okay, let us take examples and then apply. Now with this, children, we can also calculate hybridization. When we calculate the electron pair, we can also talk about hybridization. Let us see how. We will apply it to different species and calculate it. Now suppose with that formula you get electron pair 2. Then if you get electron pair 2, means the hybridization is sp. Okay, if there are 2 electron pairs, hybridization is sp. Okay, so we can apply that formula here. I will tell you how to apply and calculate. Remaining things are same. If 2 electron pairs, 2 bond pair, no lone pair, then this will be the shape. Like suppose BeCl2. We know valence electrons on the central element is 2. Okay, and this is a monovalent atom, so number of surrounding atoms 2 divided by 2. You are getting 2, that means this is sp hybridization. Let us check for carbon dioxide. Number of valence electrons on carbon, you have 4. Divalent atom, you will not add the number, divided by 2. You are getting 2. This is also sp hybridization. You can apply, I have written some examples here. You can apply this formula onto them and calculate. If the number of the electron pairs, okay, 3 I have missed here, we can take it from here. Yes, if the electron pairs are 3, the hybridization will be sp2. It will be sp2. Okay, and in that also further you can see, if all 3 of there are no lone pairs, it will be 120. If there is one lone pair, there will be less than 120 degree. That also you can apply, Vesper theorem, what we have discussed. But hybridization idea you can have. Let us apply this to the example and see. BF3. Okay, number of valence electrons in boron 3, plus surrounding elements 3 divided by 2. You are getting 3, means its hybridization is sp2. And you are having 3 and 3 surrounding elements, that means there is no lone pair. That means this geometry it is having sp2 trigonal planar. Okay, suppose I apply this to one more example, SnCl2. Okay, number of valence electrons here 14, 4, plus 2 surrounding elements divided by 2. You are getting 3. 3 means sp2 hybridization, but 2 surrounding elements means one lone pair. That means it is V shape. It is bent molecule. If it is no lone pair, this is trigonal planar. If there is one lone pair like here, it will be V shape. Clear? Please pause it and make this tabular column for your reference. It's very, very important. Now let's take another example. If the electron pairs are 4, by that formula which I gave you, the hybridization will be sp3. Okay, for one or two more I'll help you out in calculating, and the remaining I think you can try on your own. And based upon no electron pairs, tetrahedral, 1 electron pair, pyramidal, no lone pair, tetrahedral, 1 lone pair, pyramidal, 2 lone pairs, bent shape. And how do you calculate the lone pair? I already told you. Whatever electron pair value you get, that and surrounding elements you match. If they are same, no lone pair. If the electron pair is 4 and surrounding elements are 3, okay, they are not matching. One difference, one lone pair. In this one you see, electron pair value is 4, hybridization is sp3, but surrounding elements are 2. The difference is 2, they are lone pairs. Okay, for this suppose we calculate what is the hybridization. Carbon valence electrons 4, plus 4 surrounding elements divided by 2, 4. 4 means the hybridization is sp3. Right? For ammonia, 5 valence electrons plus 2 surrounding elements divided by 2. You are getting 4. Hybridization is sp3, but difference between this and surrounding is 1, so 1 lone pair. For this one also you check, central is O. So 6 plus 3 surrounding plus charge, we will write minus. Reverse we have to write. Again you are getting answer as 4. So sp3, but the difference is 1. So 1 lone pair. This is pyramidal geometry. Okay. So you can note down the examples, the shapes and all. Hybridization, quickly I will tell you what has to be done. Right. If the electron pair value is 5, hybridization will be sp3d. And you can now try these out on your own and check valence electrons plus surrounding divided by 2. Right? If surrounding element is divalent, you will not add number of surrounding as per the formula which I have discussed it with you just now. Clear? Right. Now, if you have 6 electron pairs, the hybridization is sp3d2. sp3d2 based upon the electron pair value and the surrounding elements. If they are same, 6 and 6, no lone pair. 6 and 5, 1 lone pair. 6 and 4, 2 lone pair. The geometries will be this. Clear? Right? Okay. One more here we can write, because you have only one such example. If you get electron pairs 7 and all are bond pairs, no lone pair, then the shape is pentagonal bipyramidal. Pentagonal bipyramidal. I will calculate for you and show you. See, IF7, the central element valence electrons are 7 plus 7 surrounding divided by 2, you are getting 7 and surrounding also 7. No lone pair. It is a regular geometry, pentagonal bipyramidal, that we have already discussed it in the previous part of this video. Clear? Okay, so please pause in between and note down all these examples, and you can calculate the hybridization of any example given to you on your own also. So I'll give you some more examples. You can try this out on your own. Please note down all these examples. You will find out the hybridization on your own, and please write down in your copies. And in case you have any doubts regarding the hybridization, whatever we have discussed in part 1 or part 2, you are free to ask. You can write down in the comments. Thanks for watching.